The Joe Rogan Experience.
You'll never allow yourself to get back to 300 pounds again.
Oh, never.
Never.
No, there's not. I can't go down that road,
What a
Joe.
crazy transition, though, to go in a 10-year span from being a guy who's like really overweight and worried you're going to die to being an elite UFC fighter.
Yeah, like
That's
life for me is happening now. Like this is kind of the beginning of everything for me, you know? It's really cool. It's really cool. And I'm glad that I found mixed martial arts just because it gives me, it's a journey, man.
Yeah.
It's not just UFC. It's just like finding MMA and diving into different cultures and lifestyles and understandings and sometimes philosophies, all this stuff just to understand, just to put it all together, just to have it all make sense at the end of the day. Like it's been a beautiful thing, man. I've been able to meet a lot of people, go a lot of places. Like I'm very thankful and I'm very just like I'm okay with life, you know.
It's very
awesome.
good
Yeah.
to hear, man. That's
Yeah.
a cool thing to hear. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
You're cool with life.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on a great path, man. It's also what's inspiring about it for other people is your story of being at a place where you weren't like that before, and your story of being overweight and smoking cigarettes and feeling
Depressed.
like shit. And then now you're like, for so many people out there, that gives people hope.
Yeah.
That gives them a thought like, maybe if I just figure this out, I actually can. Maybe life doesn't suck. Maybe it just sucks the way I'm living. Maybe if I could just figure out this path in a positive direction, I can change everything. I could be like you right now. What was the exact quote?
I'm happy
You're
with life.
You're happy with life?
I'm happy with life.
Yeah,
I'm cool
you're
with life. Yeah.
You're cool with life. You're
Um,
happy with life. That is a great quote. Most people don't get to that spot.
And
You know?
the crazy thing is, too, I didn't have this dream to be in the UFC. I made a choice to just go get healthy. You get
Yeah,
me? It was
I
like
do.
a short step in the right direction.
What propelled you to take the first fight if you were just trying to get healthy?
A lot of encouragement and the first time really hearing people like being good at something that like I was like surrounded by fighters and guys who believed in me and like who cared and like wanted to see me get better and tougher, and I was getting my ass kicked every day, and that was something that I wasn't used to. Just being in that environment, I had at the time learning, I had a very strong team. Like I started at Vanderlei School when he was still fighting. So a lot of the guys, it was like shoot the box style. It's like everyone's getting knocked out. Every training somebody gets knocked out.
Really?
It's like very hard. And that was new for me to get into things like that. And I
He was
had
even doing that in Vegas.
Oh yeah, man. I remember helping him get ready for either it was like Brian Sander, Chris Lieben, and throwing full on elbows in the cage, no pad. Like we're going at it. Like my jaw was dislocated, everything, but it was just like what we learned was just always fight. In Brazilian, they porrada every day.
Wow.
Every day porrada. Porrada.
What do you think about that?
It definitely made me tough in the beginning. Now I realize that like I've only been doing this a short time, and I already feel like aches and pains and stuff, and I don't want it to be like that when I'm older. So I'm a lot more smart about my training. And
Do you think it was a critical aspect of your success, though?
I needed that.
Gone through the fire like that?
I needed that
Because you were this
100%.
different guy.
I needed to know what I was made of.
Right.
Being a guy who's overweight, insecure, all these things, never going on hikes. Or my dad passed away when I was younger, like very young, and so I never had my dad to encourage me to go throw a ball or anything, play sports or be a man, be a boy, just be.
Right.
I was always like kind of sheltered by my mom, and she was more like protective, like don't go do that. And then she finally learned to just like set me free. But I needed to know what I was made of, man. I needed to know what I was made of in the realm of men fighting, whatever it took, blood, tears, sweat. The same thing that they say, like I didn't know what that was like. I never got a taste of it. And so going through it in a real way of like actually getting my ass beat and having to find my way out of it and can't run from it, and still like it's people that cared about me too. It was just a great thing to have. And now I enjoy it. I enjoy a really good hard fight. You know, there's something about it.
That's well, you're enjoying your progress too. Your change of who you are as a person. You're strengthening. How far into your training were you like 100% all in committed like that?
I think it was after my loss to Tyson Pedro, which was my second fight in the UFC. Before, everything was still kind of very fun in games, and I was like, oh, I get to travel, go to Australia, fight in Australia. So it was a big shock to be in the UFC, especially not even expecting to be there within just a few years. So after losing that fight is when I met my friend and at the time my strength and conditioning coach, Lorenzo, and he had been through like pararescue school and things like that. So he helped me to just develop this mentality of like, how far will your mind take you? How big is your will? And when training with him and doing kind of like pararescue survival training for conditioning, that was a point where I started to like say like, okay, I'm going to take this full on. I know I can fight hard, but now I know how far my will can go in the face of the elements and everything. So like putting those two together, going after it, and then the fight I took after that was Daniel Jolly. And then I ended that in the first round with a knee, and then I fought Paul Craig in Scotland. And I had the same mentality, like I'm going forward, I'm getting better, I'm going to grow stronger, better, harder, like everything. And then the fight to the Polish guy, Michael Aleksejczuk. Have you seen him lately?
No.
He just beat like Jean Vellante, and I forgot his
Oh, that's
last
right.
fight.
Yeah,
with
okay.
that body shot. I lost to him, but then it got turned to a no contest. So after that was a Gokhan Saki fight. So it's been, I'd say,
How did
maybe
it get
3
turned
years.
into a no contest? Did he test positive?
Yeah, I tested positive, but he was also a last minute fight.
I always fuck his name up.
Michael Aleksejczuk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a rough one. At the weigh-ins, I always butcher it. Terrible at some of those fucking names.
Michael
Man.
Aleksejczuk.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
when
it's been like 3 or 4 years, man.
and how many fights you have professionally?
Dang, what's my record? 8-3, 8-3-1.
That's funny that you don't really know your record.
I don't remember. 8-3-1. I think it's 8-3-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you've been fighting for a relatively short period of time and have achieved some pretty fucking spectacular results, man.